Very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for making time and for being with us tonight again on the Evening Review. My name is Toiwan Jabela, your host for this edition. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by Mbango Nandova. He is the acting president of the Swanu Youth League, and he's here to bring us up to speed with the happenings in his organization. Mbango, thank you for making time.
Thank you, Mr. Toyo, for having me, and good evening, Namibians.
Yeah, wonderful. Yes. So let's talk about, I have to be honest with you, your youth league.
Yes.
The youth league of the oldest political party in the country.
Yes.
It's largely unknown. What's happening there?
As you see, Mr. Toyo, I'm the acting. So for some time now, from 2019, we did not have a youth league. It was dissolved.
Yeah.
So we were looking for I was actually looking for a political party, and I came. I went around, just to see where would I find my footing, and where do I see myself, or where do I see Namibians, where can they grow? So I came to Swanu, and at that time there was no youth league, but I found a lot of young people. So we decided we can start reviving the youth league. So we did that the whole of last year. We were actually just reviving our youth league. We have about 24 branches across the country, so we had to work on our people first. So we did. Now I think we are ready to actually start engaging the nation.
Yeah. In your search for a political home, as you mentioned, you ended up joining Swanu. Like I said, it's the oldest political organization in the country, but also one of the smallest now.
Yes.
How do you, as a youth league, intend to help the party grow again? You have one seat in parliament.
Yes.
For the oldest party, that is not enough.
Yes. You see, Toyo, how do we intend to help the party? As you can see, you said it's the oldest party, so it is actually, you can cast the notion that the people there, the leadership are actually quite old. Some are older than the party itself, and the party is 64 years. We realized that when it comes to the marketing or marketing of the party's ideology, it has not been there. As you can see, this is maybe the first time we are coming this year, or last year we are coming to you guys, the Youth League. We've noted that our presence is zero to non-existent. It was 0 to non-existent, but I believe once a rational human being hears what is Swanu all about, they would know that this is the home I have to be. And once you are there and you decide this is the home you have to be, you actually build this. You start building it. So it's about all the members coming together, and they see, okay, guys, this is where we are. We are not hiding from the fact that we are one of the smallest parties. We have one seat, but what can we do with this idea? What can we build? So that is the way forward.
Yeah, and then you have when you went around looking for a political home, what did Swanu leaders tell you about this party, the ideology, what it stands for?
You see, Mr. Toyo, we are a socialist party, and they have one, maybe the motto, you've read it or you've seen it, give the land back to the people. In this time we are talking about, the indigenous people that lost land from the German era, apartheid era as well, which was worsened by apartheid laws. You see, Toyo, in order for there to be real change, it must not be these popularity contests whereby people are there saying, oh, we are going to do this, give you promises, empty promises. What we are saying is this: we want the land to be given back to the people from which it was taken from.
Yeah.
And you see, when you talk about that, they will tell you, I know, you see, the land is in the hands of white farmers, and black farmers will not be able to operate those farms properly. But that is a misconception.
Yeah.
It is a misconception in the terms that if you look at let's go quickly in the beef industry, you look at it, The suppliers of cattle are communal farmers, which are black people. The difference is that we do not monetize it. We actually sell to the white farmers. We sell our cattle to the white farmers and they sell it outward. But how can you expect a person who has been in the village, who actually just sells his cattle, just for food, take the children to school, how do you expect that person to actually get through, take your cattle for a distance of 400 kilometers, which is actually, once you go sell it, all the money goes back into the transport. So what we are saying is we are calling for, Swanu will always say, give the land back to the people, but also provide, we have to, as the government, we would provide the infrastructures, the places, you see, infrastructures, and we can also subsidize prices for them to actually get to lucrative markets.
Yeah, I hear you. So how is Swanu going to, because the risk here is that when you have one seat in parliament, you either increase your presence in parliament by a number of more seats, because in fairness, Swanu could also be described as a liberation movement in its own right. The petitioning of the UN through Professor Karina and others, those years. So you were there from the very beginning. Yes. But you are on the verge of even losing that position in parliament if the mobilization and your ideology is not understood by people very well. The part of the problem, as I see it, and we can explain better, is that there's also a leadership squabble in your party. There in the seat that you are seated in, I've heard other people, I've heard different people saying, I am the de facto president of Swanu. Who is the president of Swanu?
The president of Swanu is Everlastus Karonda. You see, there is a faction, a rogue faction, that saw that the way Swanu was going, it's not the way they wanted to. But I would say that we've given them too much attention as well. To me, they are not there. I don't see them. I don't see them actually even destroying the image of Swanu, even to a point where we will lose our seat because of them. They are just members, a few disgruntled members. These things are bound to happen. Whereby people just get into a squabble, you lose, and maybe your ego and your pride that does not allow you to come back home. So we would allow them to do what they want to do. They scream and make a noise, but they would come back home. This is something we've seen. It's not the first time Swanu has had some rogue factions, and it has never come up to nothing for all these years. So I don't think we should actually pay them mind. They can come here, they will talk and say they are the de facto leaders, but they've been there. What have they accomplished? Those are the questions we always ask. So if you see something progressive, when you are doing something very progressive, revolutionary even, people will be like, no, this is new to us. So what are these young people trying to do? You see, and that's the thing. If you look at it, they did the same thing in their time when they were young. So now I think you see when history comes back and it's against you, that's where the problem comes. You say, no, these young people cannot do this. They're going to destroy the image of the party. They're going to destroy the party. But that's not it. You've been doing something the same way and you are expecting a different result. It's not the way it works.
So because I suppose Mr. Karonda, whom I've known for many years and who was a brilliant unionist at the NUNW those years, fought the GIPF issue tooth and nail, eventually started, I suppose, in the process, started stepping on people's toes in his pursuit of justice, went to form NANLO, not sure what NANLO, where they are now these days. It's so sort of dormant. But what separates, I suppose, as a party president, he will then also be fielded as party presidential candidate.
Yes.
What sell to me, Mr. Karonda? Who is this man? What separates him from others?
Oh, like I said, you know, when I was talking revolutionary, so that is the word that will describe Mr. Karonda. The man is there for his people. You know, he's just there for his people, and he's willing, like you said, step on toes to get the agenda through. He is not afraid to actually say that we want our land back and we want it now. He's not afraid to say that, you know, to say to the white capitalists that, hey, listen, we are as good, we are equals. You see, there are people, he actually understands the white supremacy complex that people have. You see, you're seeing a white person and you think he's actually your superior, but rather than that, he actually sees them as our equal. And he sees that in order for us to actually get, you know, to get to the point whereby we are economically able as a country, you have to think about the majority, and the majority, like it or not, are the blacks. And the blacks cannot say they are the majority, and yet they just control, you know, they control a little percentage of the wealth in the country.
Yeah.
So he's a person who's actually highlighting that, and he's also highlighting how the SWAPO government as well has actually, you know, not mitigate that actually, but actually, you know, build up on that as well. Because what did they do? They replaced white supremacy with elitist groups from the party. They've taken racism and turned it into a tribalism thing. So it is like, you know, it's two sides of a coin when it comes to what the current government is doing. And he's a person who actually says, no, in order for us to actually, you know, get out from under this problem, we have to cooperate amongst ourselves as political parties as well, you see. So he sees that in order, cooperation is the law, is the law of civilization, and competition is the law of the jungle. So if we are going to compete with each other, we are going to be cutthroats, you know, saying that party is small, we are diminishing that party, you are doing what, we are throwing, you know, mudslinging game. It's not going to help us at all. But once we say, okay, listen, we've seen the troubles, we are independent for 33 years, going to 34, counting this year, and yet our people are suffering. Why don't we put our differences, you know, and work together, try to cooperate amongst this and this and this,
Yeah.
to say, hey, listen, to give SWAPO the challenge that it needs. The challenge that, hey, in Parliament you don't do what you want. You are not going to pass laws that are going to further disintegrate us. You know, you are not going to pass laws that are going to make the people suffer, or laws that actually empower a handful. This is something that we have noticed, and we need a organization that is not afraid to actually mention that. When you talk about the fish rot thing, you know, they are the people who are in jail. But have you actually thought the fact that when people found out about the fish rot, it was actually from a whistleblower outside.
Yes.
It was not from here. Yes. What is happening in terms of investigative journalism? What is happening in case of all these ministries that were involved? You have a director. You have you have these people. You have branches. The people should notice that these people are siphoning a huge amount of money. Have you see, if it was up to me personally, I would say some heads should have rolled. You know, people from these oppositions, they should have been removed. At the ACC, how did they not flag that? Those are questions you start to wonder. Is it ignorance, or are they part of it, or is it just somebody who wants to protect, or fear has crippled them to a point whereby, let me just keep quiet, let me keep my job, while your fellow Namibians are suffering?
I hear you.
We cannot have that.
I hear you. Yeah. So, a lot of political parties in the country, and yours is one of the prime examples, are essentially tribal-based.
Yes.
And in the tribal space that Swanu plays in, is quite squeezed. You
Yes.
have PDM there.
Mhm.
They draw their support from that base. Nudo, they draw a lot of support from that base also. And then you have a smaller party, Swanu. Do you think, I mean, how do you break the boundaries of this confinement and be a proper national party, not only by word of mouth, but you appeal to a person in Okalongo, where I come from?
You see, as you remember, Swanu was a national union. When it was formed, it was like an umbrella. You see, Swanu did not have members. It actually had entities under it. It had the Rural Chief Council. It had OPPO as well. You see, we had those kind of organizations. And Swanu has actually spoken about national unity for quite some time. But like I say, did we practice it? Yes, we did, in fact. But did we actually, market that? No, we did not. When you're talking about people from Okalongo, I think it's somewhere in the northern regions. I would say, we have the same problems. Yeah. I see yourself as somebody like me, a person coming from a communal area. You have there are people who suffer, the foot and mouth disease. It's that side. So how do you appeal from those people? Those people have the same kind of issues that we have. How do we actually create an environment where we can develop ourselves? Yeah. Your issue and mine are the same, and I think that is what we must focus on, because the tribe thing, yeah, it has been the hindrance of all political parties. Yeah. You see, when you allow yourself to become a tribal party, or you allow yourself to become a tribal leader, you cannot actually speak to the other tribes in this country. You have to think of them as this. This is my brother, this is my sister, and we have to work together, because you and I, if we suffer from the same problems, we can actually give each other's ideas. How do we do this? Let's say maybe people from my side, they are just focused on cattle, and you guys are really focused on crops. Why don't we get to a place whereby Mr. Mbango and Mr. Toivo, listen, Mr. Toivo, I have cattle, but I don't have money. Can you give me some grain so I feed the rest of my cattle? Take this cattle. Take this, and that's how we, if we start trading amongst ourselves, people are talking about the inter-trade Africa, but what about the trade between the regions? Everybody brings everything to Windhoek. Yeah. Why don't we trade amongst ourselves?
I hear you. Yes. The other issue is then, so that one seat that you have in Parliament, as Swanu, how is that being used? Asking because are you using that because you spoke about marketing the ideologies?
Yes, yes.
Is Mr. Tangani Yambo marketing these ideologies? What has come out of that one seat? It's always on TV. I mean, the Parliament is always on TV. It is an opportunity for the nation to see, oh, okay, this is a Swanu guy. They seem to have good ideas. Are you capitalizing on
that? Personally, I believe we are not. We have not capitalized on that in some time now. Our member of Parliament, I think his focus is elsewhere. You see, I think that one is actually, we are in a situation whereby we could have used the member of Parliament in a way whereby we actually just market the Swanu ideologies. We stick to what we believed in. We stick to what we have been going through. Swanu has that. We have policies. We could have imposed those policies on the Parliament, because I promise you, one or two laws would have been passed, or motions would have been taken up, or propositions would have been taken by the ruling party and its cabinet. But I am not going to lie and say, but we have not capitalized on that. Yeah. Yes, we have not.
What are the ambitions of the party in 2024?
The ambitions of the party in 2024, we want to start a revolution. We want to start a revolution movement, whereby opposition's party, by cooperating or by whoever wants to form a coalition, they can go ahead, but whereby we actually just we highlight these things to our people. We just tell them, listen, you know, the people who don't vote, you guys are actually one of the causes of our troubles. You know, you have to vote, and then those who have been voting the same way, you have to vote differently. You see, that is our agenda as the Youth League. That is what we are pushing for. We want cooperation amongst ourselves. We want to be able to say, hey, listen, me and this anyone from LPM, PDM, NUTO, RDP. Yeah, and all these political parties, the NEF as well, we sit together, we say, okay, listen, we don't have the resources that SWAPO has, so we can actually share this. You see, there are issues as well whereby people claimed, you know, we believe that if SWAPO was to lose, it will rig the votes as well, you see. So I can tell you, no political party on its own, the oppositions, can have people at every poll station across the country.
Yeah.
But if we put ourselves together, you know, you have resources in Maheke region more than us. You know, you have people, you have what? We'll give you these members of our members wearing their attire. You guys can go to Maheke region. You'll be at that polling station. You in the north, you are there. You know. That is one thing we can actually ensure that we have a safe and democratic election this year.
Yeah. You spoke several times about SWAPO having resources and why the opposition need to hold hands to combat SWAPO. Why must SWAPO get out of power? What is wrong with SWAPO?
I will put it basically, Mr. Toiwo. We are oppressed. SWAPO was a liberation movement, the one that led, you know, the strongest formation in that time. Do you believe the SWAPO that had that ideology then is the same SWAPO we have now? No, we don't. They are not.
I don't know.
They are not.
Yeah.
These people were liberation movement. These were people who were fighting for you and me. They did not care if this person was a Roro. They did not care if this person was a Damara. Back then, they had that.
Yeah.
SWAPO has lost that. You see, they've stayed way too long in power.
In what way do you think that these divisions about this tribe and this tribe, in which way do you think SWAPO is perpetuating that?
You see, Mr. Toivo, SWAPO perpetuates the tendency of tribalism by empowering a certain tribe. We can say you can go into its cabinet. Well, you can look which one is the dominant tribe. I understand they are the majority, but you see inclusivity. You see, they say, you know, you have to respect the minority. You have to listen to the minority because it will be hard to miss what is plaguing the majority, but it's easy to miss what is plaguing the minority. And if you have a councillor who has lived all his life in the north, and you put him in Khobabes, do you actually think he would know what is actually plaguing this guy exactly? What are these people suffering from? What should I target? You see, if you take a person from that region, a person who stays there, who has lived there his whole life, we will tell you that, no, listen, those things are caused by this. You know, they will target the root issues because they've been living with those things for 40 years of their life, or 30, or even, you know, 50 years of their life.
I understand that argument, but these people were not handpicked. It's if you are a SWAPO has structures in Maheke, for example, who you have to answer this question very briefly because I'm being told we've run out of time. Right. But SWAPO has structures in the region, and those structures, members in those structures must compete against each other. If a Bambu guy in Khobabes emerges, are we supposed to now say, oh, you are not from this region and therefore you don't understand the dynamics of this region, and therefore we will cut you out of the list? Yeah,
you see, now that's where the question of bread and butter comes in. You see, a person comes there and saying, listen, I can provide this for you guys. You know, this is what I'm giving you guys. You see, people they vote with their stomachs. They don't vote with their brains now anymore. So once your person we have to transcend that. We have to transcend that into to a place where I say, okay, listen, I'm going to be hungry for these 2 years, so my kids can eat. We have to come to a point like that.
Yeah.
But how can we? Well, we are actually starving with our kids. So you'll have to think about, the immediate relief right now, so I can actually just eat. My child does not die in front of me. That is the issue that we have. And like I said, they have the resources.
Yeah.
And let's say a person who comes and this guy is a millionaire, you would expect him to actually just come there and actually put in his millions, but he's not there for that. He's there to actually add millions to his bank account.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right.
For making time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's Mbango Nandova is the acting president of the Swanu Youth League. Just bring us up to speed with what is happening in the organization. Thank you for watching.